There are several principles to remember when considering ground-figure relationships. The first is that the figure and the ground are on the same physical plane. However, the figure will always appear closer to you. Number two is the figure and the ground cannot be seen simultaneously. They are seen sequentially. Number three, the figure usually occupies a smaller area than the ground. And four, the figure is seen as having some type of contour, but the ground does not.
Hey, good afternoon. It is a very cold, frigid, foggy, awful afternoon here. Not one you'd be out taking photos in, but your photo pharaoh is out here for you. And I want you to know, and I hope you appreciate it, I'm going to talk about ground-figure relationship today. Basically, that's the figure of inside your photograph and the background that goes around it. And we do this all the time. We take these pictures all the time, but we never consider ground-figure relationship. I want you to start thinking about that. I'm working out here in my old barn, this old barn that I have found outside of rural Sanger, and I've shot this barn lots of times. It's a wonderful little spot. And I'm going to work on this one spot over here where we've got this workbench and we've got this junk on the floor. There's some very nice ambient light coming in through these holes in the wall here on the behind me, and it's very soft and nice and angular, and it works quite well. I've got a wide-angle lens on my camera. I've got my exposure all figured out, and I'm going to shoot this thing in a couple different ways, thinking about this perpendicular lines here and the junk on the floor and how this works into a photograph. The first shot I would normally do would be a shot 5-foot photography. In other words, standing 5 foot away and just firing away. That's going to give me my standard shot. But as I figure ground-figure relationship and I understand how these interact, I'm going to change the shot a little bit. In this case, I'm going to move in a little bit closer. I'm going to bend down. Again, remember I have a little bit wide-angle lens on here, and I'm going to shoot this a little bit closer. It changes the shot tremendously. This is ground-figure relationship. And you do this, like I say, all the time. But if you're aware of it, you have a much better chance of making a great photograph.
The change in angle is easy to see, but the more subtle difference is how the ground and the figure of the bench interact. The parallel lines and the background are all on the same visual plane, but to your perception, the bench seems to reach out at you. This effect is even further enhanced in the second shot. This is ground-figure relationship.